What is going on, Aquarius? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your November read from now to the end of November. It is a general read. Bro. So it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. Anyone that is new, welcome. We're all with love here. You know, everyone is welcome, and I love it, and I don't mind saying that I feel like we have the best community on YouTube. So much positive vibes, and I keep it coming. Anyone that's already been watching me, welcome again, welcome back, welcome again. In the background, if you notice it, I'm gonna show a picture. Fremov is like one of my favorite artists of all time. All right, buddy, come on, Leo. Oh. Sorry about that, but he's my favorite artist, and the paintings are. I have one, but they're so expensive, so I just decided to get it all done in the background. I hope you enjoy it. I'll send a picture. I'll post a picture so you can see what it really looks like. But anyway, with all those distractions and yabbering and all that being said, let's get it. Universe, message we have for Aquarius for November 2025. What do we have for Aquarius for the remainder of November 2025? All right, Aquarius. So the first thing, Aquarius, I feel like it's really different energy coming towards you. I feel like this person that's coming toward you is someone that I feel like they had a lot of big changes. I see a lot of forward movement with this person. You know, we have the six of swords and we have the 8 of swords in reverse. I feel like this person recently breaking free. You know, I feel almost claustrophobic when I'm talking about this. So I'm getting like this person felt like they were being tied down or being held back. Didn't really do what they wanted to do. And I just feel like they got to a point where they're just sick of it. You know, they just broke free. You know, this huge transformation in this person's life. Like this person, you know, with the death card, that Scorpio energy, we have the Aries energy with that Queen of Wands. I feel like this person is ready to live. Ready to really live. Like they've been tied down. They've been so restrained for so long. And they just want to break free. Now, I feel like you meeting this person, I feel like it's quite random. Kind of spontaneous. You know, and I feel like this person, a lot of physical energy between the two of you, but I feel like this person, you know, with the devil in reverse, I just, so we got some Sagittarius and we got the devil in reverse, which is that Capricorn energy. I feel like this person, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. I feel like this person is really attracted to you physically. And I feel like that's not something this person would have acted on before, but this is the new them. This is new them. And I just feel like this connection starts off very hot. Friends with benefits, something casual. But I don't feel, however this starts, it may just be a friendship. But there's a lot of heat between the two of you. Now, coming in, I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like this person knew what they wanted. Like I said, they know they wanted something different than their life was. And I feel like meeting an Aquarius is one hell of a way to go, because that's a journey all in itself. It's an amazing journey, but I mean, if you're looking for an adventure, who else would you find but an Aquarius? Like I said, they're not really sure what they're looking for. Like I said, and they're tempted by you. The temptation with that devil card in reverse. I mean, they're trying not to feed into the temptation. It's almost like this person, they just broke free. And it's almost like they don't usually go for a physical attraction. So I feel like there's still that old part of them kind of holding them back. But like I said, I don't feel like this person necessarily knew what they wanted. But I feel like with this person, there's great communication. It's very honest. 8 of Wands. And we have the Queen of Swords. It's very honest and direct. And that's another thing with this person. I feel like they always kind of held back, not saying things. But with you, it's like it's a fresh new start. They're starting off with that. And again, it's a little bit confusing with that temptation. I feel like they don't want to get hooked on you, because I feel like they feel like they don't want to be tied down again, but they're not realizing who they're talking to. And like I said, there's a lot of temptation here, but it's almost like they don't want to get in the same situation, but they're not realizing they're really not getting in the same situation at all. This open communication that you have, I feel like, really seeing how intelligent this person is, I feel like you just click with each other. It's almost like you were being drawn to each other. And it may seem random, and it may seem a coincidence that this person just happens to be feeling this way, and then they meet you. I don't feel like it's random at all. I feel like you were drawn to each other. And with that King of Swords, it's, I feel like this very cerebral connection, very, very intelligent. I feel like they just get you, and you just get them. And it doesn't have to be any more than that. Like, that's the thing. This person is worried they're going to fall for you and, get stuck in another situation. But like I said, they're not realizing who they're getting involved with here. Now, we go back to the Queen of Wands. It's that zest for life. It's just that lust for life, wanting to live. I feel like this person really didn't feel like they were living. Like I said, and I feel like they went through this huge transformation, and they're just going for it. And it's not that they don't want to find love. It's just, they don't want to find the love that they've been finding. The stuff that's been trapping them. Again, you couldn't hit a better spot than an Aquarius. And I feel like with this connection, I just feel it's like alignment. Like, just starting to understand each other. And I feel like once you start to understand each other, once they start to get you and realize that you're not the one that's going to, trap them, make them feel trapped. If anything else, you need your independence. And like I said, this person still wants to live by their terms, but they like being with you. And that's all it has to be right now. Aligning themselves with you. But I feel like in the midst of this all, there is new love being found here. A connection being formed. A deep connection with that Lover's card. And then we have some Cancer energy with the Ace of Cups. This person is just drawn to you. fantasizing, and you become part of their fantasies. And when I say this connection is deep, and when I say this is new love, and it's like a soulmate twin flame type energy you got going on with this person, but it's a connection that's real and that works for both of you. It doesn't have to be. A lot of people think of, when they think of a deep connection, you think you're just stuck to each other, you're clinging to each other. It's different for everybody. In this case, I feel like you're both, it's almost like you're both on an adventure, and sometimes it's a 2-seat adventure and sometimes it's a 1-seat adventure, but I feel like when there's an available seat, this is your ride or die. I feel like this is, and moving forward, I mean, I feel like a family get together or a party or some sort. I feel like by that time you're going to be, this is going to be the person you're going to take with you. Introducing to your close friends and family. But I do see a celebration with friends and family coming up. And it's almost like this is the person you're going to want to take. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if you've ever seen that Holiday or whatever movie it is. They just hook up on the holidays. They're their plus one. But it works for people. Not everybody wants someone stuck in their face all the time. The ideal perfect person for them is not someone that is blowing up their phone all the time. This person enjoys life, and I feel like you're gonna have a lot of fun with this person. But like I said, this person's going after what they want, and what they want to experience the freedom, and being with you feels free. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. It doesn't feel contained. And that's why they're gonna enjoy being with you. That's why they're gonna enjoy spending their time with you, sharing their hopes and dreams. I feel like, honestly, what you're getting from this person is something no one else has ever seen from them. So you're getting to enjoy this side of this person, this awoken, because that's what it feels like. It feels like this person just woke up and said, "What is my life? What am I doing? How, you know what I mean?" Like, sometimes we get that way in life. Not this drastic, but you know what I mean. With this person, we have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We got Capricorn and some Virgo. You said we have some Cancer and some Pisces. Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. Like I said, sometimes people just aren't the same. You could have couples that they do a lot of things separate, but they like coming home to that person. And if both people on the same page, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you're in, as long as it works for both of you. I've experienced and I've seen through friends, family, and just getting emails and stuff and people's stories. Like, I've seen so much stuff go on, and what happens is you can't fit a square into a circle. Some people just don't fit. No matter how much you want them to, no matter how much of a connection you have with them, if they don't fit on the major things and they don't fit in the little things, they don't fit. And some people just fit, and that's part of the struggle of finding that right one. I mean, if you think about it, everybody says, "Oh, there's so many people in the world. Why can't you find the right one?" Because the right one has to be specific. It reminds me of the story of Zeus and how humans were, very powerful. I heard the story, and it's about humans being very powerful, and Zeus. And back then, when this story took place, humans had 4 arms, 4 legs, and two faces. and they were powerful. And Zeus, to weaken them, he split them in half. You know, and that's why there's this draw sometimes. You know, I love that story. I don't know how real it is, but I like stories. And with that, it's just like, you know, it's the two halves are just constantly trying to seek each other. You know, they're trying to find each other. And, you know, the worst thing sometimes, like I said, sometimes we feel like we're not living our life, or we're not being who we are. You know, we wake up, I've done it. I woke up in the morning one day and looked in the mirror, and I had no idea who I was for a minute. I just like, who am I? And then I started, this is a few years before I started doing tarot, but you know, my mind started awakening long before I did tarot. You know, I let go of all those things that were holding me back, like masculine toxicity, or toxic masculinity, however you want to put it. You know, and just not being afraid of being me. You know, and even when I started doing tarot, I mean, look at me. Most people don't expect it from me, but I like tarot. I love it, and I love tattoos, and I love t-shirts, and I love hats, and I put myself out there. I would never have done YouTube 10 years ago. Wouldn't have done it. I would have been paranoid, insecure, would have been worried about, you know, what people thought of me, what people said about me. I don't care anymore. I like me. But that's the thing. Sometimes we get so complacent being who other people want us to be, or being the person that other people need us to be, and we stop forgetting who we are. And I feel like this is kind of the transition this person's been going through. And like I said, an Aquarius couldn't be a better fit for that adventure, because every Aquarius friend I have, not everyone, most of them are pretty, they love a good adventure. A few of my buddies are the type of guys you call them up and say, hey, we're going for a 3-hour drive somewhere. They're like, yeah, all right. Pick me up 15 minutes. Or, hey, do you want to go to this thing with me? And they're like, yeah, all right. No questions asked. They're always down for whatever. That's what I love about my Aquarius friends. You know, if you ever have a party, if you're ever doing something cool, you know, we went paintballing not too long ago, and we were short a few guys, and I called a buddy of mine that he's an Aquarius, but anyway, I called him up and I said, hey man, do you want to, and we just gel. I mean, Sagittarius and Aquarius gel really well anyway. Anyway, so he's like, can I bring a couple of my friends? And I'm like, yeah, sure, we could use the extra guys, you know what I mean? Like, we're the thing is with paintball, the less people you have, you got to split those in half, so the teams are smaller and smaller, so the more the merrier kind of thing. He shows up with these 4 guys, and now they're good friends of mine. One's an Aquarius, one was an Aries, 2 are Sagittarius. And I just laugh about it when I think about it, because he's friends with all these fire signs. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry, sometimes I know I get off on, I'm not sorry really though, I'm doing it, right? I'm just sorry you have to listen to it if you don't want to. Anyway, like I said, sometimes you just wake up and it's time for a change. And it comes earlier and later for different people. You know, the worst thing you can do is be stuck in a situation where you know it's no good for you, but you still don't do it. And I feel like this is kind of, you know, what this person is. And now, not saying they were in a relationship like that romantically. It could be just family. You know what I mean? The expectations of our family and friends sometimes can lead us to do things that aren't us. And then we lead and then the more we do that, the more we do things for other people and not for us, the further we get from who we are. You know, my Nan always had this saying. She said, don't try to be anybody else, because everyone else is taken. You know, and it's hard. There's a lot of pressure in life to be a certain way. You know, when I see those people walking around, and they have piercings coming out everywhere, and the hair's all these colors, or these guys that got, those people got tattoos all over the place, or they just wear really colorful clothes. Like I seen this guy the other day, and he's wearing this surf style sweatsuit. I don't know if anybody remembers those because I'm old, but it's a surf style, and it's like purple and green and blue, and he had the whole jumpsuit, and he was rocking it, and I loved it. You know what I mean? I love when people are just unique. I love unique. That's why I love tattoos, because there's nobody else gonna look like me, because I have tattoos that nobody else is gonna have. Unless somebody does do that, then that's kind of creepy, but but I don't know. I love unique people, and I feel like that's why, me and my Aquarius friends gel. Um, I love individuality. I love and what's funny is one of my buddies, he's got a lot of piercings, and it's funny, like he's got tattoos and piercings, and his girlfriend, even though they're individually, they look very unique. When they're together, they look very similar. Like she's got a bunch of tattoos, a bunch of piercings, like, that just gives more merit to my story about Zeus. Anyway, be good. Take care. Stay safe.